Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. What's up, it's Luby Saber Legs Media, and welcome to oh my goodness, to the stage one, the prologue, the time trial, the ladies' team time trial, and this was the result of the end of a beautiful day. It all came back to this guy. His name is Willie Tarrant, and he's in charge of the sizing of the bikes. Now, the only problem with what was going on is that there were they had like a 15-minute period where the ladies had to be there prior to the start of the race to make sure that all the bikes got checked and everything was done correctly. Everything was just on point. But what ended up happening was a traffic jam. The one guy wasn't enough to keep the ladies in check, so that they made their times on start. So it started with movie stars showing up late. Now, being that you only got the one guy really tear it ensues a problem. You're going to get a problem. So you have to plan for these things. Like logistics should have these things in place in case something like this happens. To only have one official person doing all of the checks is sort of crazy. And you got seven bikes on each team, and the times are the times. Once the times start, you have to get going. There is no restarts or waiting or starting later. It just is what it is. So what end up happening is you're going to see in a minute. We're going to get to it in a minute. The ladies, but rightly so, should be upset. So movie stars showed up to their thing late, which caused a ripple effect. But and then after then instead of being proactive, the officials were reactive. And what they did was they brought someone else in to help with the speeding up of the times. So a couple of the ladies actually lost time because of being late. So you're gonna see coming up in a minute where you're gonna see the movie star. So everyone's lined up. You got one, two, three, four, five, six people on the line, and then in a minute, just before they start, you're going to see you see the young lady looking around like we only have six. Like where's our last rider? So people are panicking and they're getting ready and they're like, we gotta start. So and as you can see, the last young lady is walking up. She's finally getting up there, bike check, and then she's gonna get on with it. But the crazy thing is the bad luck wouldn't end there for movie star because yeah, they were late. And then soon as they start, Kat Ferguson puts her hand up. She gets a flat tire. So Kat Ferguson is going to be down and out with a flat tire. That sucks because this is her specialty event. You see her bouncing the front wheel because she's got a flat tire. That really, really sucks. So then you go back to so the movie stars they're getting on with the thing, so they got to ride. And now we're back to as you can see, there's only the Uno X, and they actually missed their start. So someone's telling them to go because the beeping had go. And the guy, you see the guy telling them to go because the beeping had finished, and they were waiting for the last rider when they should have started. And then you're gonna have a similar thing. So it's just a ripple effect. You see Miss Melissa bike running up to the line, and they're not even all there, so they're trying to get in the right place, and then again, the last rider is just gonna come up, and the last rider is not even gonna get in the line. They're gonna start, and the last rider is literally just gonna join in, and the last rider literally gets them to just in time as they roll out. Because if she would have missed, like 3 or 4 or 5 seconds later, she would have been like the last girl, and she would not even been able to get on. So what you're gonna see is she's gonna get on, but then just as they start, she's gonna get on the back and they're telling her to go. But then there's one more lady. She's gonna come out from your right on the screen really quickly. You're gonna see watch where the official is. She shoots out, and she never got back on. Like the only other incident on the day was this incident where the young lady went down, but she was okay. She luckily the way she fell, she didn't hurt herself. But this is track coming in to win the time trial. It was just a lot of stuff going on, and we have to like what's going on. Like let's go back and look at the official side about this really. But it is what it is. It's all going to come down on your shoulders, unfortunately. And this is the end result of not being properly prepared. So I do feel sorry for the ladies because it takes a lot of work to prepare for a moment like this. And some of the ladies were really, really upset. And the other thing was that Movie Star got a fine. They got a fine of, it was like 200 euros per rider. So that's was 1600 in total in euros. So my question is that fair that they do get fined for that? Yes, they were late, but I personally think that uh, there should be some way to accommodate for that. Like, and then if you watch the official, Mr. Man is not in a hurry. Mr. Tarrant is not in no hurry. He's doing his checks. He's making it sure it's done right. I understand making sure the checks are done right. Yes, make sure the checks are on point, but still try and be efficient and like don't penalize the ladies. These things happen. Like it's just crazy to me that in this day and age, and the UCI have so many rules. I understand they have to try to watch out for people cheating and watch out for people doing this and all the disadvantages. And my thing is the what the UCI is trying to do is trying to curb the technology brought into the sport like that, so that there isn't too much technology brought into the sport and the sport gets so far advanced. My thing is, I think personally it should be like Formula One. Let the Formula One cars have some just insane modifications and stuff that you would never get on the road car. But some of those things trickle down to the road cars, and some of the road cars do benefit from some of these things, not all of the things. So, like keep the really like high tech fast stuff for the riders. Like the stuff that that is going to be extremely expensive. You don't pass that on the consumer. And why I say that is because UCI had this rule that anything that is on the bikes that these guys use should be available to the consumer, which is why the bikes cost the cost is astronomical. It is ridiculous. I mean, it is not even a thing to say you can get a bike for 10 grand, 15, 20,000, and that's just like, oh, that's just what it is. It's not even like this is super special, this is super special. This is just a bike that probably someone's gonna ride on the weekends or maybe every other day or something. But it's not really got anything really, really special on it that makes it stand out and say it should be 20. These bikes cost more than the super bikes, the super motorbikes, the motorbikes, the GP bikes. They cost more than that. That is in a you gotta like look at this. This is a bike you power by a human being. And you can buy a bike with a motor that costs way more that is not cost, that is way faster, way more, just uh, it's just insane to me. And the and then someone's going to talk about like I was saying they're going to talk about the making the bikes more expensive because of the tariffs, and the tariff have they have nothing to do with that. It's crazy because the bike companies can actually eat the whatever tariffs that they're putting on the manufacturers themselves and not raise the prices of, because that's what some of the car companies have done, like cars companies like Mercedes. They said, okay, whatever, we'll just take the tariffs because they're making so much money, just before cars get to the dealers, that like whatever, a little bit of tariff, we'll have that, and they're still making a profit. And the bikes would be the same; they would still make a profit, but they're passing that tariff cost on to the consumer, which is sort of crazy to me, if you think about it. But like I was saying, back to the whole pricing and the whole um like just pricing the average person out of riding, and they want people and they want like the sport to grow. The sport it's going to stay a certain way, a certain style, and I think eventually cycling will at some point, the professional aspect, this part that you see, will die off a bit because people are going to get tired of paying these prices, I personally think. And it's just going to, like, they went to gravel because people were tired of all of the rules and the stuff. And now UCI is coming to gravel and they want to put rules on that. So, but anyway, this has been In the Sloopy. Say with your legs, media. What do you think? Do you think the UCI needs to like give it a break, or it is what it is? Remember, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.